Hey guys, Abel here, back with another video, and in today's video I want to share with you 3 crucial things that you should know about getting shredded. And by shredded I mean single digit body fat. So not just lean, not just looking good, not just having abs, but being at single digit body fat, having veins on your abs, even having veins on your quads and on other places where you didn't even know you could have veins, and what you should really know about the process of getting there, what happens when you get there. And I think if you know these things, then you will have a much better chance of actually succeeding and also not having in for a disaster once you're done with your diet. Getting shredded is a little bit like having sex. The first time when you lose your virginity is not going to be the best time. You may be in for some weird surprises, but over time it's gonna get better. But still, if you know what to expect, you will have a much better chance of having a decent time doing it. So the first thing, without any further ado, is that you will most likely, if you're like most people, not the odd exception, will have to get much lighter and will have to lose much more weight, and you will have to spend much more time dieting than you're anticipating it in the beginning. And that is mainly because most of us are greatly underestimating our body fat percentage. And I think the reason behind that is that all of us have our favorite poses, our favorite angles, our best body parts, and we like to look at that and judge our body fat percentage based on that. So if you look really good from a front most muscular pose, like I do, I think at least, then you will judge your body fat percentage based on that. If your back is really lean and aesthetic, you will judge your body fat percentage based on that. But you're forgetting that you will have to lose fat from other places as well. So what happens in many cases is that you look at your favorite pose, your favorite angle, and you say, wow, I'm actually looking pretty good. And surely I don't have that much fat to lose. It's not going to be that long until I get shredded. And then what you find is another 8 kilograms have to go off before you get actually shredded. For example, I will put up a couple of pictures on the screen, and I specifically remember when I took these pictures, I felt like I was getting tired with the diet. I was definitely leaner than I have been in a very long time. My abs were super nicely visible. When I was lying in bed and kind of pulling my finger up and down my abs, it felt like a cheese grater. So I was like, surely it must be really close when I'm actually getting shredded. And then I had to diet for another 2 months, and I had to lose another 10 pounds or about 4 kilograms before I actually got to 8% body fat or 7% body fat or something like that. And that's going to be a big surprise for many of you guys. So whatever amount of weight you think you will have to lose in the beginning, or however many weeks you're guessing in the beginning you will have to diet for, you might have to multiply those numbers by 2 if you don't have actual real life experience getting to, say, 7% body fat. Now, the second point is very closely related, and that is, if you want to do a shredding diet, if you want to get down to this super low body fat percentage, then you have to be in a place where you're actually ready to diet and you're ready for a prolonged period of time when you're going to be eating less calories than what you want. So if you have another 3-4 months of dieting ahead of you, but you're already in a place where you're really tired of dieting and you're really food focused and you can barely sleep at night and you're living on caffeine and pre-workouts and you're getting really neurotic with your physique and with your food, then you're not going to make it till the end of the diet. It would be basically the equivalent of trying to win a marathon, but after the first kilometer, you're already out of breath and you're barely dragging yourself ahead. I mean, in that case, you would probably not even complete that marathon, let alone winning it. So you have to be ready to diet. You have to be in a place where your relationship with food is in a really good place. You're completely diet fatigue free. So ideally, you would start a phase like this after you have been completely free of any sort of restriction and dieting for a long time. Now, if you're not in that place, but you still want to go through this shredding diet, then what I would suggest is first get lean, not shredded, just lean, something like 10 to 12, maybe 13% body fat, and then hold that body fat percentage for a while, maintain that new level of leanness, reestablish a new baseline for yourself, reset that settling point a little bit, improve your relationship with food. If you're really burnt out on stimulants and caffeine and all of these things, then maybe try to taper off these things for a while and replace that with actual food, renormalize your sleep and all of those things. And when you're ready to go again, then make that final push for, 12 weeks or longer until you actually get shredded. Now, the third thing is really, really important, and I think this is something that is going to be very shocking for many people, so it's really useful if you know this in advance, and that is, if you actually want to stay lean after your diet, or if you just want to bounce up to a slightly higher body fat percentage. So let's say you finished your diet at 7% body fat and you only want to bounce up to 10% body fat, then you have to accept the fact that you will still be hungry even after you add back food and you're no longer in a calorie deficit for a period of time at least. Now, you won't be hungry forever, but at least for a couple of weeks, you will probably still be more hungry. You will still be more food focused than you would want. Your energy levels are still not going to be amazing. You might still have some sleep issues and a lot of those things that you were struggling with during the diet. Now, they will improve, of course, but just don't be baffled if you find that you added back in food, you're still eating healthy, you're still eating filling foods and all of those things that I talk about in other videos, what to actually do after a diet. But even if you're doing all of those things right, you might still have that initial kind of lingering period for a couple of weeks when you still kind of feel like you're restricting and dieting. And that is because you cannot just undo all that diet fatigue and all that lingering sense of restriction overnight. It takes time for all of those things to kind of dissipate and re-normalize yourself. It will take time for your body, but also for your mindset to kind of recognize the fact that you're no longer dieting, you're eating enough food, you're well nourished. And when that happens, then you will slowly start to normalize. So if you're still feeling like you're kind of hungry, I'm kind of thinking about food all the time, don't freak out, it will pass. Now, of course, you can rush that process and you can try to speed that recovery up, but then you will have to be content with bouncing up to a higher body fat percentage. Now, that can be a completely fine approach as well, and there's nothing wrong with that. But if you want to use this as an opportunity to kind of reset your settling point and maintain a lower body fat percentage going forward, then you will have to accept this initial period when things are still not amazing, even though you are no longer dieting. At any rate, I hope these 3 things were useful and interesting. Let me know what you think, comment, ask questions, let me know your thoughts, like the video if you liked it, and subscribe for more videos. Let me know what you thought of this shorter format and more to the point type of video. But at any rate, I want to thank you for your attention, and we will see each other in the next video.